if you're involved in a self-defense shooting, will police require blood alcohol tests or urinalysis? And it's going to depend. What do you say?
Yeah, I was going to say, I see it so rarely.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate for us a lot of times, because we are in the situation where our clients actually are not intoxicated.
Right.
And there's like some sort of weird nebulous allegation in trial that comes up by the state. Well, he had been at dinner before, and and it's like,
yeah, it's hard. We see that's a theme in self-defense cases where they don't do a complete investigation.
Yes.
It seems to always hurt the client.
Yeah, they really don't. And so, I mean, I can say, of all the self-defense murders I have handled and have on my docket right now, not a single one tested our client, the defendant, for any sort of intoxicating substances in their body at the time. Now, then on the flip side of that, the person who is the complainant, right? Some would call the victim, but we choose not to, because they're the attackers, they're the complainant or the decedent. They generally are not tested either, unless they die.
Right.
And if they die, a toxicology will be run. If they don't die in close proximity to the gunshot, I mean, we've had people die weeks later, then that toxicology is not great.
Yeah.
But
I don't see it as a standard operating procedure like you would with gunshot residue. When you see the people with the brown paper bags on their hands with the tape on it, the police want to be able to finger somebody, say, hey, look, you're the person who shot the gun, you have the gunshot residue on your hands. The time where I see toxicology come up is whenever there's a vehicle involved. For whatever reason, I think that probably triggers some other procedure where we say, hey, a vehicle's involved. Maybe there's also a self-defense incident where, we're going to test for drugs. But outside of that, I'd say it's pretty rare.
Yeah. And, part of the issue is that self-defense, although we talk about it and think about it and deal with it all day, every day, as far as the government is concerned, self-defense comes up very rarely. When Richard and I were talking about 95% of all these crimes being kind of like drug-y related, because drugs and crimes just go hand in hand.
Right.
That's what the state is looking at. And the proportion of cases that are legitimate self-defense issues are so small. They forget, right? They forget, okay, we're looking at a reasonableness standard here. What do we need to do to investigate that? And instead they go for things like gunshot residue on hands, which when your
guy saying I
shot the gun
in self-defense, that's always a little
do you
preposterous.
Need the gunshot residue?
Right.
No, they're looking at things like, well, we got to make sure the bullets from Richard's gun are the same ones in this body, so we can prove that he shot the gun. When Richard's over there screaming, I shot the gun, I just did it in self-defense. So they forget. It's like they feel like they're trying to prove a murder
or check some boxes.
Yeah, instead of trying to say, okay, I need to prove whether or not this was actual self-defense.
And devil's advocate, if the police don't do gunshot residue, it's like, y'all don't do gunshot residue on every shooting case. So as the defense attorney, we get
don't give away our secrets.